Good morning, good people. Yeah, you know what it is. Hard worker, scrappy, unfiltered, and sometimes unhinged football content. Hard to explain, but you know it when you see it. Doing it daily our way. I don't know what you're talking about right now. Redraft and Dynasty Fantasy Football, we got you covered. You know their defense is ranked like 31st in the NFL? NFL draft prospects and rookies? Now you know you in the right place for that.
Absolutely.
All right, then stop saying it. Then we're done. And prop bets with my man Jay Rich. Count that money, man. Now wipe the crust out of your eyes. Get you a cup of coffee. It's time to wake your ass up with Ray G. You honestly are making absolutely no sense, and you sound silly as hell. Good morning, good people. It is Friday, April the 29th, 2022. Y'all decided to wake y'all asses up with your boy Ray G, and I appreciate you being here. Shout out to our partners, Prize Picks. Make sure you go to Prize Picks, use the promo code WAKEUP, play some of these games. I hope y'all entered into their $100,000 free roll contest. Man, yeah, shit, I just barely woke up with y'all too. I hope y'all tapped in to the draft stream. Last night we went 4 hours. Man, we had over 500 people in the chat talking the NFL draft, talking landing spots, talking situations. It was too much. Jay Rich had to take off this morning, so I'm flying solo. Nah, man, your boy ain't sleepy. I'm here, CJ. I'm here. But we'll be doing it again tonight. So we're going to start the live stream about 5:30 Central Time. Start the live stream 5:30, and then we're going to go all through round 2 and round 3. Yeah, Ro, just a little, I got a little ahead of myself. I was feeling myself last night, taking shots of Casamigos with the crowd. I was doing too damn much. I'm too old. I'm acting like I'm 22. I'm 35. I can't be doing this stuff, man. I gotta calm my ass down. It's a healthy dose of what somebody told me last night. I was a cheap date, 2 shots and a can of beer, and you can have your way with me. I gotta get back on my grind. I gotta stop. Yeah, yo, it was wild. It was fun. We had a good time. Everybody was over 4,000 comments in the chat, 4,000 chat comments. So come back tonight. Come tap in. Me, Eugene, Mike and Adam from 4D, Jay Rich, we in the building, man. We in the damn building. But let's talk Fallout. Let's talk wow. You know, we've been predicting this entire time that there was no consensus in this class, and we weren't going to know consensus order until the NFL draft actually took place, and that came to fruition. That was real stuff. You know, I think the most shocking thing that everyone's talking about, I kind of slept on, no quarterbacks besides Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett, the only round 1 quarterback selected. I believe first time since 2013, the E.J. Manuel draft class where only 1 quarterback was taken in round 1. This is, I think, you remember all those mocks we did? Remember those mocks that y'all told me were trash and, right, there's no way this is possible. There's no way Pickett is going ahead of Malik. There's no way Malik falls out around. Remember all that? Remember all of those mocks we did? And I said, the more we do this exercise, the better prepared we'll be. A couple of people text me, DM me last night. I was like, Ray, thanks for doing one of those mocks that we said was shitty because it actually no quarterbacks were taken in round 1. I'm doing good, y'all. I'm doing good. I did not sleep it off. Good morning to everybody in the chat. If y'all were rocking with me last night and then you wake back up and you, I thought Tampa Bay was on the clock. I was doing too damn much. But that's the big takeaway. So super flex. All I keep thinking about is what do you want? You know, we had Jordan Backus on last night, and he was talking about quarterbacks drafted in round 2. Like, there's one guy that's hit, and that was Jalen Hurts, right? Like, it's just, you just don't want those guys. You want a first-round draft capital for the quarterback. So let's just talk through what happened last night. So I'm gonna pull this up. Hey, our friend Chad Reuter. We're gonna pull this up. Let's make sure we get this right. Let's close that down. Let's get our friend Chad Reuter on the screen. Let's make sure. Here we go, Reuter, and let's just go through. These players and picks and kind of talk about this from fantasy purposes, right? So the Arizona Cardinals, first up. So we know Arizona traded their first-round pick. They traded 23, and they acquired Hollywood Brown. First of all, this is not good for Rondale Moore. They've got DeAndre Hopkins. They brought back A.J. Green. And then, they go acquire a small receiver that can actually play wide receiver in Marquise Brown. Not good for Rondale Moore. I thought the Ravens absolutely fleeced this deal. I thought this was a hell of a deal for Baltimore, right? They didn't want to pay Hollywood Brown, and I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to pay him that much either. I think he's a fine receiver, but I'm not paying him probably what he wants. Wheels up for Rashad Bateman. We kind of talked about it for a minute, thinking Rashad Bateman maybe a little overvalued. Here's a shot. If he's going to be the guy, that's what it is now. So if you got Rashad Bateman, good for you. This was a good night for the Rashad Bateman managers. And I don't know how you feel if you have Hollywood Brown right now. I think it's also excellent for Mark Andrews when you're talking to fantasy purposes, all right? The Atlanta Falcons picked at 8, and they went with USC wide receiver Drake London. And if you were on our stream last night, we kind of talked about this before it happened. And I said, if Atlanta goes wide receiver, who is it that you would want? And it was 100% Garrett Wilson. I was like, nah, it's Drake London, man. You get Drake London, you pair him with Kyle Pitts. This is a play for not just the 2022 season, but it's beyond 2022. The Falcons have yet to say if they want to trade Calvin Ridley, bring him back. But let's just assume Calvin Ridley's back after this season. You've got Kyle Pitts going into year 3, Drake London going into year 2, and then you get Calvin Ridley back in that offense with a quarterback that they probably will draft next year in 2023, or who knows? Some of the quarterbacks have fallen in this draft. They could take a guy here at the top of the second tonight. So I think this was a home run landing spot. Drake London, if he can't beat out Auden Tate and Olamide Zaccheaus for immediate targets, then you're insane. I'm seeing people talk that shit about, this is a bad landing spot. I don't like it. For what reason? He should be walking into 130 targets from day one. The question is, who gets more targets, he or Kyle Pitts? And I'm still going to say Pitts out-targets him, but Drake should be, Devontae Smith walked into 104 targets in Philadelphia last year. Drake London should be walking into 130. And I think this is just, he was my wide receiver 1 per my film grades, pre-combine, pre-NFL draft, and nothing changed that last night. Still my top wide receiver. Love the landing spot for Drake London. Good fit in Atlanta, and he should walk into the number 1 role immediately. Evan said it right here. London and Pitts both walking into 130-plus targets from day 1. Give it to me, man. Give it to me. So yes, and I'm with you. Drake will grow into 150-plus. I mean, I think this is it's a no-brainer spot. First wide receiver off the board to 8 to Atlanta. Love it. The Baltimore Ravens had a nice draft, right? They go Tyler Linderbaum, the offensive lineman out of Iowa, and then they go Kyle Hamilton at 14. They got that extra pick, and then they traded it. I mean, this is just they masterclass in drafting. Baltimore, hell of a draft. Fantasy purposes, Linderbaum helps out that run game, and that also helps out Lamar Jackson. This is just good. This is good for Baltimore. Good job by the Baltimore Ravens. All right. I'm seeing people talk Drake London 102, 103 in Superflex. We'll talk about that. I don't think so. Maybe 103 at the earliest, but I don't think so. Right. Buffalo took Kaiir Elam. And the Carolina Panthers, a lot of people thought that they were going to take a quarterback, and they passed on quarterback, and they took, in my opinion, the best offensive lineman in this class, Ike Ekwonu, at 6. Carolina, I believe, per PFF, had the 31st ranked offensive line, in the NFL. This helps. You get a tackle like this that's that proficient in the running game. That's fantastic. So Christian McCaffrey and whoever's playing quarterback, this is an immediate upgrade to that offensive line. It doesn't wholesale change it, doesn't make it, a top offensive line overnight, but it's a good start for a unit that was just downright awful last year. All right, Chicago, nothing in round 1. Cincinnati, Daxton Hill, like the pick by the Bengals, helping improve that secondary. They see it. They're in the AFC. Teams are getting better around them. So I like Cincinnati going with Daxton Hill. We know Cleveland didn't have a first-round pick. My Dallas Cowboys. Oh, boy. Tyler Smith, I hope he turns out to be good. I'd rather, if at that point, I was hoping Linderbaum would be the pick, possibly Jermaine Johnson. I don't know. I saw a lot of people say that he was like the 50th best player on the board, 40th best player, 68th best player. He's big. And the last Ty Smith that we drafted, I'm just taking the L-E-R off of it and just say Ty Smith, is probably a Hall of Famer. So Dallas needed offensive line help. The fantasy fallout from this, good for Zeke Elliott, good for Dak Prescott. You know, you lose La'el Collins, Connor Williams. You got to do something. Tyron Smith is getting older. You know, it was a need pick for Dallas. It wasn't a luxury pick. It was a need pick. We talked a little bit about Treylon Burks and all of that stuff, but, you know, Dallas needed offensive linemen, so there it is. Nothing for Denver. And Detroit with a really good draft. You know, they went Aiden Hutchinson. They couldn't pass on the hometown kid at 2, so they take the Michigan edge rusher Aiden Hutchinson at 2, and then they trade up to 12, and there was a little bit of a wide receiver run, and they nabbed Jamison Williams, which, interesting pick, right? So let's stay here for a quick second. I'm seeing a lot of people say, Amon-Ra St. Brown is dead. This is not good. I mean, listen, man. They play two completely different types of wide receiver. If anything, this pulls some concentrated targets away from Amon-Ra and TJ Hawkinson. This is a great pick. And I know J-Mo's probably not going to be ready to start the season. Even if he misses the first half of the season, this gives Amon-Ra time to do his thing. When J-Mo comes in, he slots right in there and provides an element of speed that this offense was devoid of. Now, they did go out and sign DJ Chark to a one-year deal, but it's a one-year deal. I mean, it's going to be J-Mo, it's going to be Amon-Ra, Swift, TJ Hawkinson with a good offensive line. Seems like the Lions, another move for 2022 and beyond, like 2023 and beyond. This seems like a move that they're looking into the future for one of those quarterbacks in 2023. This opens up things for Hawkinson. This opens up things for St. Brown underneath. I thought this was a great job by Detroit. They didn't stay pat at 32. They went up and got what some believed the number one edge rusher in this class in Aiden Hutchinson, and other people believed that Jamison Williams was the number one wide receiver in this class. So I think this is good. If anything, if anybody is panicked and they're like, you know, panicked to sell Amon-Ra and you can go get him if you can do it for a second round pick, then go do it. Like, I wouldn't trade my Amon-Ra because of this. I thought this was a good fit. It's a good fit. So somebody said he was trying to trade him, and yeah, you'll get people out there that do that, and I would be all over it. Please trade him to me. Please. Green Bay. Oh, boy. Listen, I don't know what to say. I mean, we keep talking about wide receiver, you know. Wide receiver for the Packers. They got to take a wide receiver at one of those picks, right? They got to take a wide receiver with one of those picks, right? Nah, they'll take 2 Georgia defenders. They will bypass the wide receiver position, and they will take 2 Georgia defenders and burn the world down. They go with Quay Walker and Devontae Wyatt at 22 and 28. They were in a bad boat, man. By the time Green Bay, well, at 22, I still think there was a guy on the board, but by the time they got there, all the wide receivers were gobbled up. Olave gone, J-Mo gone, London, Wilson, Jahan Dotson gone. All those guys were gone by the time Green Bay got on the board. So that's sort of what they were left with right there. And right now, Allen Lazard lives to see another day. Allen Lazard lives to see another day for Green Bay. The Houston Texans, Derek Stingley and Kenyon Green, thought it was a little high for Green. Thought somebody that Dallas would be able to acquire later in the draft. But, you know, they went Stingley. There was a lot of smoke around Stingley at 3. They get Kenyon Green to help that interior offensive line out. Good for Davis Mills. Good for Davis Mills. Trying to build around Davis Mills. It'll be interesting to see what they do with those second rounders. This year, the Colts did not have a pick. The Jacksonville Jaguars took Trayvon Walker, 101. So they took the athletic, freaky, long-armed guy. And then they took Devin Lloyd, I think the best linebacker, interior linebacker in this class out of Utah. So Jacksonville committing to build that defense up. So looks like they're pretty set on the offensive side of the ball. If you got ETN, if you got any of those guys, seems like Jacksonville's good on the O-line, offensive side of the ball, at least early on with the high-end prospects. And they went defense, and they got a bunch of speed. They added a ton of speed on defense, so I thought it was fine. I mean, I wouldn't have taken Walker at 1, but I thought it was a fine draft by Jacksonville. Kansas City, another one of these teams where us as you fantasy people, we got to stop it. I talked about this last night after the stream at like 11:50 at night with the Destination Devy patrons, patreon.com/allgas Heisman group. Every year we want to mock all the highest rated offensive skill position players to the best situations, and it never plays out that way. We got to fucking stop it. Every year. We had nothing but wide receivers pegged to Green Bay, to Kansas City, to all these teams, and all of them said, nope, nope, nope. We're going with other positions. I keep saying, Kansas City needed, when they saw what happened with Jamar Chase going for 300 yards on him, they better have gotten a cornerback. That should have been a position of need. They need to get somebody to get after the pass rusher because they have nobody, right? Chris Jones, that was about it from the interior of the defensive line. So they went to improve, their defensive line and secondary, and they traded up to do it. So no wide receiver early for Kansas City, probably a bummer for some. Raiders, no pick in the first round. The Chargers, I believe, got one of the best interior offensive linemen in Zion Johnson, so you just give Justin Herbert more protection. Rashawn Slater, Zion Johnson, this Chargers team is getting scary real quick. Rams, no picks, but they got Allen Robinson, so who cares? Tyreek Hill, Miami Dolphins, no first-round pick, but who cares? Minnesota went safety at the final pick of the draft, and New England, I mean, you talk about a team that just thinks they're smarter than everybody, right? Cole Strange out of UT Chattanooga, first round. New England traded down to get this kid. Jacoby Myers and Kendrick Bourne, wheels up for Mac Jones. I guess they needed offensive line help, so they take Cole Strange, and they think they know what they're doing more than anybody in the NFL, so we'll see how that plays out. The Saints traded up and got Chris Olave, and then they stayed pat at 19 and got Trevor Penning, the nasty offensive lineman out of Northern Iowa. Olave to New Orleans, I believe at that point was the third wide receiver off of the board. Yeah, this was the wide receiver run. It's like London, Wilson, Chris Olave, J-Mo, boom, 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 boom. So Olave to New Orleans, I don't know, man. Should get opportunity, and it should boost his ADP. And I will be thankful for that because I probably have no Chris Olave at all. Giants, I think the New York teams had the best drafts in round one. You walk away with Kevon Thibodeau and Evan Neal. I think the best edge rusher in this class was Thibodeau. And then you walk away with one of the top tackles and Evan Neal. So this helps out Saquon Barkley. We know the Giants declined the fifth-year option on Daniel Jones. So, again, a move for the future. DJ probably not going to be around in the future. They're going to take a quarterback next year. I thought this was just beautiful drafting. They got to stand pat and get two super talented players. And then the Jets, just lovely. A lot of people thought Jermaine Johnson was going to be a top 10 pick. He goes 26th to the Jets. They get Garrett Wilson. They get their receiver. They've been telegraphing wide receiver the entire process. They get a guy to pair with Elijah Moore. And no Deebo Samuel trade as of yet. So that's interesting to see what's going to play out with that. And they take the best corner, I believe, in this draft, Sauce Gardner, at 4 overall in a division where you got to face Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle twice a year, Stephon Diggs, and Josh Allen. You got to have pass rushers, and players that can defend the pass, and that's exactly what they did. Two New York teams, round of applause for those two teams because they did it right. With the Jets, Philadelphia. Philadelphia. I take Jordan Davis, man. Big Jordan Davis clogging up the middle. And then we're on the stream, and I'm just seeing everybody go, wow, what happened? Well, they didn't take a wide receiver, but they traded for one. A.J. Brown. Wow. Now you put A.J. Brown. Now there are no excuses for Jalen Hurts, right? None. You upgrade that offense from their starting wide receiver sets of Quez Watkins, Jalen Reagor, and Devontae Smith to A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert, and then they extend him on a 4-year, $100 million deal, 57 guaranteed. It was better, and they traded what? They traded one of their picks, that pick that they had at 18 or 15 or whatever it was, and a second rounder or a third rounder to get A.J. Brown? Give me that all day. He's better than any receiver that they would have selected at 18. They get it done. It's a position of need. This is great news for if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan. This is great. You're waking up happy today. Not only do you get Jordan Davis, you walk away with A.J. Brown in that offense. Good luck. He's the one. Devonta Smith is the 2. Dallas Goedert's going to do his thing over the middle. A.J. Brown should walk into 10 targets. Smith, 6 to 8 targets. Dallas Goedert, 7 to 8 targets a game. It should just be consolidated to those three. That was just a beautiful, beautiful move by Philadelphia from a real NFL standpoint. And then I think from fantasy, A.J. Brown is still going to be fine. He's going to get his. You don't trade for a receiver like that, give him $57 million guaranteed and not plan to give him the ball. Devonta Smith should be faced up with single coverage constantly. So this is about as good of an opportunity as Philly has to see if Jalen Hurts can be the guy. And one of the questions we talked about in the Discord last night is, are they going to let Jalen Hurts throw the ball? Like, are they going to let him do that? Here's the thing. They're going to find out if he can do it. With these weapons, I wouldn't be surprised if they throw the ball every damn time. Let's find out if he can be the guy. Can he do that? Can he throw the ball 30 times a game? Can he get it out there and distribute it to these multiple wide receivers? If he can, he's our guy. If he can't, we got good weapons and we'll find somebody next year. So I thought Philadelphia, you see the A-plus grade there, walking away from night one of the draft with Jordan Davis and A.J. Brown. If there's anything higher than A-plus, I think you got to give it to Philly, man. I hate to admit it, but you got to give it to Philadelphia. And the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers, everybody we talked about Malik Willis. I had Malik Willis penciled in to Pitt, and they stayed at 20. They didn't trade up. They stayed at 20, and they had their pick of any quarterback in the draft, any of them, because they were all on the board, and they went with the Pittsburgh quarterback, Kenny Pickett. And I think that signifies everything that you need to know what the NFL thinks about the Ritters, my guy Corral, Malik Willis, project QBs. They view them as project guys, not worthy of a first-round pick. Kenny Pickett, in my opinion, in Superflex drafts, is the only cat that I want. He's the only cat that I want. And if you drafted before the NFL draft, and you got Malik, and you got Sam Howell, and you have Desmond Ridder, and you have Matt Corral, cross your fingers, because just the hit rate of those guys and what they can become in the NFL is just so much lower. The fact that they weren't drafted in round one. Like, teams didn't even feel, they were like, the fifth-year option, we're good, fam. Like, that's not even going to factor into this decision. You put Kenny Pickett in the offense. What did everybody say about Pickett? Everybody's talking about, all his wide receivers at Pittsburgh, they did all the work for him. But what the hell does he have in Pittsburgh? Wide receivers that could do the work for him. Get it to Deontay. Get it to Claypool. Get it to Freiermuth. Get it to Najee Harris. You don't have to do too much, Kenny Pickett. Just get the ball there accurately. Get it out on time. Get it to those guys. Their offensive line is still bad, so they need to correct that. But Kenny Pickett runs a 4.6. He's mobile enough. All he's got to do is get it to those guys. At the end of the night, on Sunday night, when I'm looking down my fantasy score, I don't look at how the quarterback got me the points. Like, I'm not like, oh, man, he didn't throw it down the field for. All I care about, did you get some points? You score some touchdowns? Kenny Pickett about the only quarterback that I want in Superflex. This was the worst outcome for us in Superflex leagues. The single QBers are laughing to the bank because they've been prepared for this. You play in one quarterback leagues, you're just chuckling because this is what you've been prepping for, right? Everybody that participated in Superflex rookie, we should have done more single quarterback because that's what it turned into. Superflex leagues and Superflex rookie drafts have turned into single quarterback rookie drafts. Literally, like, we're moving forward, we're not even going to do Superflex. I mean, I feel bad. This is what I get for talking about one QBers because that's exactly what this turned into with only one quarterback being drafted in round one. San Francisco, no first-round picks. The Seattle Seahawks take Charles Cross, the O-lineman out of Mississippi State. Tampa Bay, they pick right here at the top of the second round. And then Tennessee, let's go Tennessee with Treylon Burks. Everybody fearful. All these people pushing that Treylon Burks propaganda on Twitter about him not being all of that and this. They trade A.J. Brown, and what have I said the entire time? Who does Treylon Burks remind me of? A.J. Brown. They trade A.J. Brown. They save $57 million guaranteed. They draft A.J. Brown. Treylon Burks, too, should be another one of these rookie wide receivers just walking into opportunity. All they have are Robert Woods there, and he's coming off of an ACL injury. So whatever Burks is going to be, we're going to find out real early because he's going to have every opportunity to be the guy. And what do I always say? In fantasy, I'm looking for cats that have an opportunity to get an opportunity to score me fantasy points, and Treylon Burks has that opportunity in Tennessee. I love it. I love it. Pre-combine, pre-NFL draft, pre-pro day. Wide receiver 2, based on the film grades, it was Drake London. It was Treylon Burks. Go check the videos. It's on the channel. After the NFL draft last night, my top wide receivers are unchanged. It's Drake London. It's Treylon Burks. Love the landing spot for Treylon with a good quarterback in Ryan Tannehill. Decreased target competition. He's going to have every out. We'll see if he turns out to be good or not, but he's going to have every damn opportunity to be the guy. So I love it for Treylon Burks. Great landing spot, and he got the first-round draft capital, and it was higher than some people expected. Love it for Treylon, and we talked about the Monstars with Derrick Henry. You know, it's unfortunate that A.J. Brown won't be there, but Treylon Burks should walk into opportunity as the guy in Tennessee. The Washington Commanders took Jahan Dotson at 16. They trade down. They had an opportunity to get J-Mo, had an opportunity to get Chris Olave, and they trade down and take Jahan Dotson at 16. I don't know. This was a spot that I didn't want to see Drake London or Garrett Wilson go to, or Treylon. So I'm glad that didn't happen. I don't know. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I'm fine with it. I don't know. Y'all gotta make me feel better on this one, because I like Jahan Dotson a lot. But with Terry McLaurin there, with Carson Wentz, I just don't know. I truly just do not know. It just seems gross. I don't know. It just seems kind of gross for Jahan Dotson. So there goes a quick recap of round 1. Now we'll get into some nitty gritty. Let's see what y'all are talking about. I like Dotson, but not on the Commanders. I like Dotson too, but again, I didn't like the fit, man. Didn't like the fit. One of the worst picks. Washington always takes wide receiver. Yeah. So let's talk this Superflex thing. Real quick. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but even my guy, right? I talked Matt Corral. I have little interest in any of the quarterbacks, man. Besides Kenny Pickett, he's the only one that if I'm going to take one, and I asked the question last night, how high do you take Kenny Pickett in Superflex? And majority of the answers I get was like 103. 103. I mean, he landed in a good situation. All he's got to do is get the ball to the guys and let them do their thing. No Malik, no Corral, no Ritter, no Howe. I want none of it. The Superflex have officially turned in to single quarterback leagues. Just off the top of my head, if I had to give a quick rundown of what I think the order should be, and I'm still basing it on players that didn't even get selected. I think Breece is going to come off the board early today. Kenneth Walker will come off the board early at some point in round 2. We'll see where Spiller goes. I don't know about any of the other backs. I think James Cook probably a second-round pick, but I still would say it's probably Breece Hall, then Kenneth Walker, assuming the draft capital, and then probably Kenny Pickett. You know, like he's the only quarterback that you want. 103 Kenny Pickett, and then choose your flavor. For me, it would be Drake London. It would be Treylon Burks. I would put Garrett Wilson over Jameson Williams, even though I had J-Mo rated higher going in. But the fact that he's not going to be ready to play the start of the season, and, you know, Garrett Wilson was picked a couple of spots higher, I'd probably have Garrett Wilson right there after Treylon Burks. Then Jameson Williams. And then, I mean, the old GQ, you know, if Spiller doesn't go round 2, I might be out. Like, after that 108 range in Superflex, you can have all the rest of the guys. Like, there's a couple of wide receivers that I'm waiting on the landing spot, right? Sky Moore. Want to see where Sky Moore goes. Interested to see what happens with George Pickens. Of course, we're waiting on the running backs. But I have zero interest in the quarterbacks. And you could be like, well, Ray, he got drafted early second round. That's kind of like the first round. It's not, though. It's not like the first round. So, I'm sitting back and thinking, I wish we would have done some more single quarterback mocks. I really do. We shall see. They were super high on Wilson and London. I think Joe might be talking about the Jets, right? Eric, shout out to Eric. He's been saying F these quarterbacks the entire time. He wanted no interest in any of those quarterbacks, and it came to fruition because I really don't either. I mean, honestly, outside of Kenny Pickett, that's about it. So what do we think is happening tonight? If Malik goes Seattle early second, I still don't want to. I would trade the pick. And I know a lot of people are saying like, oh, yeah, it's still early second. Hit rate on those guys. And what the NFL told us, man. Like, even if whoever takes him at the top of the second, like, They didn't feel, if you were already drafting at the top of the second, it costs you really nothing to move up into the back of the first round, right? It doesn't cost you much. And people like New England drafting players like Cole Strange probably would have had no opportunity, no problem backing out of the first round. But they didn't take it. Like, the fifth-year option meant nothing to those guys. Nothing. Like, I don't even want to move up 3 spots to get this quarterback, to get the fifth-year option, which is more valuable than whatever 6th rounder it would have taken to get the quarterback in round 1. And you're still going to have people. I'll take the Malik discount. This is not a data-driven process. If you take any of these quarterbacks high in Superflex as second-round picks, you are definitely going against what the analytics say, right? You are definitely going against what historically has not worked out in fantasy football, which are second-round quarterbacks. Yeah, Bruning said this draft has been validation for a lot of us Devy guys who have been saying about this class for 2 years. Somebody said I'm still willing to gamble for these QBs in a 1 QB league in early second rounds. Hey, listen, 1 QB years, y'all are laughing to the bank, baby. Y'all have won this draft cycle because all of those rookie mocks are incredibly more valuable now than even think about in Superflex mocks what we were doing. Pickett, Malik, Corral, Howe, Ritter, all those guys were going in round 1. All those damn mocks we did with those quarterbacks going high are like dead. Like they're not even useful. Like you can't even go back and be like, man, there was something useful to take away. They're done. The shelf life is over. The shelf life is freaking over, man. I mean, those things do us no good. Like the more valuable mocks at this point, in my opinion, are legit the 1 QB ones, man. Oh, man. All right, Joe said, glad I traded Deshaun Watson yesterday instead of relying on Malik getting drafted last night. Yep. You won't see a single QB. You won't see a QB go in a single QB until round 3. Yeah, man. Yep. It's interesting. So tonight, of course, Ram said, give me Willis at Seattle, and that'd be the saving grace. It's interesting, right? 102, 104. If London is there at 104, London over Bird. London's my one. London is my one. Yes, there's nothing that's changed that. He's my one. Here's the stat. Since 2014, only 1 QB outside of the first round has been top 6. That's Dak Prescott. 2 others have hit top 12 status. That's Jalen Hurts and Derek Carr. There go the analytics. That's since 2014. So we're pushing, 8 years? Only 1 quarterback outside of the first round has been top 6, and that was Dakota Rain Prescott. And 2 others have hit top 12. That's Jalen Hurts and Derek Carr. That's it. That is it. I mean, if you want to bet on those second round quarterbacks to become Jalen Hurts or Derek Carr, you can. But the data just says don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah. He said Hurts right here. Yeah, Hurts wasn't a QB1. Yeah, top 12. That's QB1. He said top 6. Hurts wasn't top 6, but he was a QB1. Yeah. So that's it. Let's see. What would it take? What does it take for London to pass Breece Hall for you? Nothing. Nothing will make that happen. Breece Hall gets the draft capital, right? Breece Hall is a top second round pick. He's still the 101, in my opinion. Second round, we've seen Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Swift, Cam Akers, J.K. Dobbins. All those. Second round is the new first round for running back. It was, again, I'm watching last night, and I kept telling y'all, oh, Buffalo, they're going to take Breece at 25. No, they weren't. Why? Why would they do that? When the reason why they didn't go to the Super Bowl wasn't because of their running back. It's because they needed some secondary help, their defense, right? Devin Singletary was fine. I am not saying that Devin Singletary is a better running back than Breece Hall. That's asinine. I know Breece Hall is a better running back than Devin Singletary, but that's why spend a first-round pick on Breece Hall when the most replaceable position in football, they can draft a guy in the second round or the third round and throw him in there and let him carry the ball and take some pressure off of Josh Allen, and they'll be fine, right? They went with defensive back help. That's what they need. Trey White coming off the Achilles tear. You can argue about the player that they took on defense, but they didn't need Breece Hall. This is that fantasy pie-in-the-sky shit that we do every year, and we got to stop, got to dial it back, and I'm not at all shocked that they didn't take Breece Hall. I've been saying it. I didn't think that they would do that. It's just, why? Like, why do that, right? Breece Hall to Detroit, Breece Hall to Tennessee, Breece Hall to Chicago. Okay, I mean, if Breece goes to Tennessee and he's parked behind Derrick Henry, yes, that's a problem. He goes to Detroit, I think that'd be more of an indictment on DeAndre Swift than it would be Breece Hall. And then if he goes to Chicago, he should be better than David Montgomery. So, I mean, if he goes to something like that, yeah, I mean, short term, it'd probably be terrible in Tennessee, right? And you'd be like, man, I really don't want to do that. But if that were to happen, you wouldn't have to draft him at the 101 because I think people would push him down for you. Yo, yes, you sure did. G-Money, you asked a super chat question yesterday about Olave, J-Mo, or Spiller. I still don't even want to answer this question, but you did give a super chat question. If you're asking me right now, I'd probably rather have Jameson Williams. That'd be the direction I'd go in, and that's a long-term play, right? I know he's not going to help you early on, but I do think that once he's back and ready, he's going to be a big part of that offense. He possesses something that nobody else on Detroit has, which is that game-breaking home run ability. So I would still bank on Jameson Williams over Chris Olave and even over Spiller because I don't think he's going to go early second. So my answer to your question straight up, G-Money, would be J-Mo over Olave or Spiller. I appreciate you bringing that back to my attention, big dog, and I'm glad I got to see that. Yeah, and I'm with you, Dana. If he ends up in a committee, it stinks short term, but I still think long term he'd be fine. That would suck, right? Best landing spot for Spiller, I think Atlanta would be the ideal landing spot. I don't think he's going to go early enough for the Jets. I don't think he's going to be the Houston's pick early in the second, but I think Atlanta could be in play. Doesn't Buffalo? Wouldn't it be something if instead of at 25 Buffalo taking Breece Hall, they used that second round pick and they got an Isaiah Spiller? So I think there's a real good chance that he lands in a real good spot in the second round. If he's taken in the second round, there's a chance he's going to land in a real good spot because I don't think it's going to be early enough like with the Jets or the Texans. Maybe Atlanta in that. I think they pick like 47th, but probably towards the back of the second round. You got Buffalo there. I kind of thought last night, part of me was like maybe at 30. Does Kansas City go running back again? Do they try it one more time? But they didn't do it. But I would love to see him in Atlanta. Love to see him in Buffalo or Kansas City later in the second round tonight. What run it? This is gonna be what sort of separates stuff from a fantasy perspective from us. It's gonna be tonight, and I think it's gonna be the second round. It's where we're gonna see, top the running backs. Maybe a couple other backs slip in that second round. The only receivers, honestly, y'all, that I even give a damn about at this point, Christian Watson, Sky Moore, GP, maybe Alec Pierce, maybe Alec Pierce, but really it's GP, Sky Moore, and Christian Watson. I thought Christian Watson has a chance to slot into that first round. Didn't happen, but I think that's the most ideal landing spot for Isaiah Spiller tonight. It's going to be really, really fun. Moore or Watson, Sky Moore, 100%. I've got him ranked higher. Sky Moore would be the guy for me. But yes, Joe, running backs tonight. Everything you said about the quarterbacks are true. Then you'll see some QBs go early tonight, and everyone will be wanting back in, and I will gladly let you have them. Please let those quarterbacks come off of the board early in the second round, and you can take all of them. Take Malik. I'm telling y'all, I have zero interest. Zero. I will trade the pick. If I'm sitting at 109 and somebody wants to come up to get second round pick Malik Willis, I will gladly trade out of that first round for even a 2024 first rounder. I have zero interest in the quarterbacks, man. Zero. NFL told us what they thought about those cats last night, and the only one that they thought was worthy of even going in round one. And I want y'all to think about that for a second. All the smoke around Pittsburgh and Mike Tomlin's love affair, Malik Willis. They had their choosing. They were all on a platter for him, and Pittsburgh said, "We'll take that guy. We're good on Malik. We'll take that guy. We're good on Ritter. We'll take that guy. We're good on Howell. We'll take that guy. With Matt Corral, we know we brought you in. We're gonna roll with Kenny Pickett." I don't know, man. I mean, what does that signify? Yeah. Mike Tomlin was playing 4D chess the entire time with the whole world, knowing good and well that he wanted Kenny Pickett from the jump. So Oh, there it is, man. Quick recap. It was a long night last night. We had to get up to talk about these. I am over the moon excited for these receivers. Drake London's landing spot, smash. Still like Garrett Wilson and the Jets. I think J-Mo to Detroit, what they're building in Detroit, very good. And they're going to get a quarter. They're going to be bad. They're going to be in the C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, whomever the top quarterback is, sweepstakes. They'll be in Nick Leary. They'll have their pick of the litter because they're going to be shitty. Atlanta's probably going to be bad. Drake London's walking into 130 targets. Love it. Love it. Treylon Burks, love it. Best thing for us Treylon Burks truthers out there. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah. That's the show. I have nothing else. I appreciate y'all tapping in. We had over 500 people. We got 500 people in this morning. Make sure y'all tap back in. I told Pat McAfee we're coming for him tonight. He had 125,000 on the stream. We only need about 124,000 to catch up with him, man. We're real close. We're gonna get with Pat McAfee tonight. But I appreciate y'all tapping in. We got some super chats we're gonna get to real quick from the people. Fly. Let's see what Marlon has to say. Fly, Eagles, fly. Guess I won't burn Philly down after all. We taking the division. God damn it, Ray. Y'all very well might. I like what Philadelphia has done. I have to say that. Andrew, Ray, appreciate you, bro. Stream was dope last night. It was dope because y'all rock with me. So make sure y'all come back tonight. We're going live 5:30 Central Time. That's 6:30 Eastern, and it's at 3:30 Pacific Time. There we go. Got all my time zones right. Mike, how high do you draft Spiller if Tampa Bay takes him at the top of the second? For me, he would be right after Breece Hall because on my film grades, he was the best film on tape. I had him graded higher than anybody, just off the tape, like by .04 over Breece Hall. So they were really the same. So if he goes at the top of the second to Tampa Bay, even behind Leonard Fournette, I'd probably take him right after Breece Hall. I like him. I still like the tape. And if Tampa Bay and the NFL said that he's a high second-round pick, then I'm just going to trust my evaluation. And, I would still take him mad high, and I wouldn't think twice about it. Ray's Devi crew and the minions of Underworld should unite. Man, they know where to find me. They can come rock with your boy. We will definitely welcome him in. Not concerned with Mariota? Hell yeah. Who wouldn't be concerned? But he's going to throw the ball. He's got to get it somewhere, and Mariota's a stopgap. He's getting paid minimal money for a year. So I'm not going to take a short-sighted approach with Kyle Pitts and or Drake London. That's just these kids is 21 years old. Like, they will outlast Marcus Mariota. We're talking dynasty here. This is the long-term game, playing chess, not checkers. So in year one, they probably won't produce the best with Marcus Mariota, but I don't care about that. I don't care about that. Thanks for giving us time Friday. Appreciate you, Mike. Do you see Baker getting traded now with the only quarterback in round one? Good shot. Let's be on Baker Mayfield watch. Baker Mayfield watch. Ray, we get a look at the shirt. Oh, you want to see the shirt? Oh, yeah, it's the T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd shirt. Yeah, there it is. Everybody want to see the shirt? There it goes. T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase. Got to rock those guys. Felipe Franks. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm going to sign off. I'm out. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you put your alerts on. 5:30 Central Time. We're going live. Streaming round 2, round 3 of the draft. Best place to get your draft content. Have ESPN on one screen. Had a wake-up crew on the other screen. We'll be back later tonight. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Let's have some fun tonight. We out. Peace.